Hello and welcome back to Beers, Bourbon, and Games. I'm your co-host Mike, and with me is
Conquer Corey.
And today we are going to be looking at the original N64 controller. The N64 controller had a really big problem with it. If you ever played Mario Party, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh.
The Joy-Con, or the joysticks in these were notorious for messing up. This is one such casualty.
Look, I can make it dance.
Ugh.
It feels rough. Like it's completely like. It's kind of like when a bearing goes out.
Yep.
Is what it feels like. Like it's grinding and it feels like it's got sand in it.
Oh. Ooh. Ooh. And the problem with this is that it makes it to where you can't play games. You have a disadvantage against the other players. There was always that one controller that at somebody's house that you gave out to the person you least like. Here, you always win. You play with this controller. You'll
Mario
be
Party.
fine. Yep.
This right here does it.
Yep. Wear them out so bad. But there's a good news is there is replacements now for these. So as these controllers got older and more collectible and people wanted them, they realized that this happened a lot. So you can actually order replacement joysticks for them. And today we're going to show you how to replace it. We're going to show you how to replace it. And you'll be surprised, it actually is pretty easy. So let's get into it. Okay, so this is actually not a very hard process at all. Anyone can do it as long as you have a tiny screwdriver. Tiny screwdriver. So, first thing, you're going to see a bunch of screws on the back here. I have to play around because I can't find quite the correct screwdriver to use on this. And you'll see later on in the video I end up having to switch to a more powerful screwdriver because of something. But eventually I find the right one. You're going to take all of, how many is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 on the back and there's 2 inside of the cartridge, which I'll show you in a sec.
There's a lot, and with those screws being set in there for, man, untelling how many years, they're gonna require some force to get out, but not too much because you don't want to break those things.
Yeah, you got to be very careful. Actually, at one point in time, I ended up stripping a screw, and I ended up having to use a very heavy-duty screwdriver to actually get it out.
Boy, Nintendo put a lot of screws in that thing.
They did. This
I don't think I
controller
ever
was
noticed
actually pretty decent built, except for the joystick. It had a lot of issues with it. That was mainly because Nintendo was making these games that,
You had to take your palm and put it on, like vigorously rotate it in a circular motion.
and if you were tryhards like we were, you wanted to get it, you wanted to win, so we just constantly breaking stuff.
I blame Mario Party, Mario 64, and GoldenEye for all the controller casualties of the Nintendo 64 era.
Yep. Now here's the ones I was talking about. These 2 screws in here, I actually stripped one of these screws trying to get it out, and I'll talk about it again later in the video, but it's they're very hard to get out. I recommend using a pretty heavy-duty small screwdriver to get them out. I just had a really hard time with them. Be very careful too when you're in there too. You don't want to scratch the connectors for your expansion packs. But once that's done, it pops right off real easy. The Z button stays in there. Pretty nice. One thing I noticed about this is that this is where I realized how nasty the controller is. You can see it right there. It's years and years of skin and playing and all that nice fun stuff. So I ended up going here, and I recommend you doing the same, going in and cleaning it out. Just use, like I always do, I use a little bit of Windex, and I go through and I just scrub it real good. I use one of the screwdrivers at one point to just kind of peel around the edges, make sure I get it all. I do this for both sides because it's nasty. I mean, you're going to hold a controller for like 20 years. It's going to get some gunk into it. Now, this is a piece I really want to point out. Be very careful with this. That had gotten kind of brittle for me, and when I pulled it off, I noticed it shipped a little bit. That is actually the button for the Z. Just be very careful when you pull it off there. Be gentle with it. Now, to remove the joystick, you're going to remove three screws in this, and they're really easy to get out. They weren't as hard as the other ones. Once you pull the 3 screws out, you're going to remove the ribbon cable. Just pops right out pretty easy. It's me playing with it and just decided, crap, I'll just throw it away. Put the new one in. Had a little trouble getting it lined up. I don't know if it was the fact that we were shooting this video at midnight, or I'm just getting old, but eventually I got it lined up and got it stuck in there.
Back in my day, we had the 9-pin serial connectors.
Oh my god. You want to put your screws back in.
Yeah, this process right here had to been like Nintendo's best kept secret.
Oh yeah. It's super easy to get in here. Like I said, the hardest part is getting those 2 screws out near the expansion / rumble pack part. Can't seem to hold on to the screwdriver.
Good as new.
Now you're going to want to push that button in. Again, be very careful here. Like I said, over time that circuit board has just gotten brittle. You just want to be careful and not destroy it.
Does it like click into place and hold?
It does click into place and hold. Just be careful as you slide it in there.
Be gentle.
Now you want to place the buttons back, left and right trigger buttons. It's me realizing one of them was dirty, clean it off a little bit. A big thing here is to make sure you test the Z button and the side buttons before you go ahead and screw everything back in, because you don't want to have it like caught or something and have to take it apart again. And you just start to reassemble it.
The good part about this too is I think a lot of the newer replacement ones, they have not a whole lot they can do, but I think some companies have actually improved some designs and reinforced some things to make them last a little bit longer. And obviously, we're not going to beat them as hard as we did when we were kids. Let's just face it, we were rough on things as children.
We actually point that out later on in the video about how the original one is a small little ball, and the new one we have is a big ball attached to the stick, so it actually has a lot more surface area, and it feels sturdier. And that's basically it, though. I mean, pretty much done. It's me testing all the buttons, make sure everything clicks and stuff.
Where's that easy button at? Look how firm it is. So nice. That's not a joke for the internet either.
And that's about it. That wasn't too difficult at all. It was quite simple. The one thing you have to worry about, like I said in the video, is these screws back here. They were very easy to strip. I did it. You have to use a very good screwdriver to get them out. But once everything falls out pretty good. These buttons will pop off. You pull it out, put that in. Be careful with the Z button attachment on the back. I noticed it was chipped just a slightly bit, but the controller still works. So just be careful with that. You should be good. But now we have a fully functional controller, and it didn't take very long at all, like 10-15 minutes. You know what? Every time you do that, it's gonna be $6. That's about what the part costs, only $6, which is pretty freaking great.
This is great for like anybody who speed runs like 64 games and use original hardware, and you wear out your stick. You just replace your controller. Now, granted, it's not. There are some differences. You can kind of tell there that it's a little bit of a difference between first party. But honestly, it's a joystick. I mean, there's not really that much
Right.
difference. Actually, this internal looks just like this. So
This one feels kind of a little bit sturdier to me, though. So I'm hoping that this won't be as bad as this. Because the big difference between this one is a stick going down into a small ball. And this replacement I got is a big ball. So I'm hoping that that'll actually make it last longer. Because a lot of what times get loose is a lot of times what gets loose is the connection here in the bottom of it. So we may pull this apart and take a look at it, but overall, $6, really easy, very easy to use, very easy to put in, and I think this will last longer than this did. It may actually survive Mario Party. That's about it for this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. We'll answer them best we can. I'll make Cocker Corey do it so it's legible. But if you like our content, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It helps the channel a lot, or even a thumbs down if you didn't like it. Hit the subscribe button so that I can annoy you throughout your day with new videos like fixing controllers or RetroArcs or this nice wireless controller that I'm actually going to probably use more of this. But as always, I'm your co-host Mike, and with me was
Dr. Corey.
And we'll
See ya.